Hello and welcome to S24 Television News. Here are our top stories this time. NBA calls for a probe into controversial tax laws, and Senate passes the 2026 budget. POS operators linked to terrorist ransom payment. I am Halima Abdurrahman for the details of our stories. The Nigerian Bar Association is calling for a comprehensive investigation into Nigeria's newly enacted tax reform laws, citing concerns over alleged irregularities in their passage and gazetting. The association states that the development undermines public confidence in the legislative process and poses risk to economic stability. It is urging authorities to suspend implementation of the laws pending a transparent and independent probe. And the Nigerian Senate has passed President Bola
The Nigerian Senate has passed the
58 trillion naira 2026 budget for second reading. Lawmakers described the proposal as a framework for economic consolidation and reform, while calling for detailed scrutiny by the Appropriations Committee ahead of final passage. Our correspondent now reports.
The Nigerian Senate has passed the 58.47 trillion naira 2026 budget for second reading, marking a major step towards the approval of next year's national budget. The bill was presented during plenary by Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele, who led the debate on the proposal.
The 2026 budget is therefore not an experimental document. It is a budget of consolidation, consolidating reforms already undertaken, stabilizing key economic indicators.
Bamidele described the 2026 budget as one of consolidation, noting that it builds on ongoing economic reforms aimed at stabilizing public finances and strengthening growth. Contributing to the debates, several senators urged the Appropriation Committee to ensure thorough scrutiny of the proposal, stressing the need for fiscal discipline, transparency, and realistic revenue projections.
This money be appropriated is meant to ensure prudent procurement, appropriate remuneration, and ratio payment to our men and women in uniform who are taking all the risk so that Nigeria may be safer.
Following deliberations, the Senate referred the bill to the Appropriation Committee for detailed examination and further legislative actions. Kabiru Abdurrauf, S24 News.
And the federal government says some point-of-sale operators are being used to facilitate ransom payment to kidnappers and terrorist groups, further complicating efforts to tackle what has been exploited to move funds while evading detection, adding that measures are underway to close the loopholes. Meanwhile, the 29th National Quranic Recitation Competition organized by Jibwis is currently underway in Abuja, drawing participants and dignitaries from across the country. The event featured a strong call for responsible leadership by Jibwis chairman Sheikh Sani Yahya Jingir, alongside messages of unity and peace from government officials in attendance. Our correspondent Zainab Ibrahim is with the details of the story.
The 29th Annual National Quranic Recitation Competition, organized by Jamaatul Izalatul Bid'ah wa Iqamatus Sunnah, Jibwis, is underway at the Guzape Islamic Center, Abuja. The week-long event, running from December 21st to 28, 2025, draws Quran reciters, scholars, and dignitaries from across Nigeria, celebrating the Quranic excellence and unity of the Ummah. We're here to celebrate the 29th annual memorization of the Holy Quran competition organized by the Jibwis. This initiative is to celebrate the youngsters who have shown discipline and prowess in the memorization of the Holy Quran. Apart from that, this will also show the unity, teachings, and education that surround Islamic unity. Beyond the competition, Sheikh Sani Yahya Jingir expressed his displeasure with the new tax reform, citing its potential impact on Nigerians.
Wannan abin da ya shiga tsakaninku da 'yan jaridu, mu ba mu san kan labaransu ba, ba mu san na gwamnati ba. Ku je ku zauna a duba in dai gaskiya ne. Haraji zai cuce mu. To, Ahmad Bola Tinubu, kar ka shiga gurin da ba za ka iya fita ba.
Beyond competition, the event instills discipline, humility, and leadership values.
On compassionate ground, Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri has granted a full pardon to a farmer who had been on death row for killing a herder during a farm dispute. The decision brings an end to years of legal controversy and debate around self-defense. The pardon forms part of the state's Christmas and New Year's clemency program and follows appeals from committee leaders and human rights advocates. Meanwhile, Nigeria generates millions of tons of waste annually, with discarded tires among the most difficult to dispose of safely. But one Nigerian entrepreneur is transforming this environmental challenge into opportunity, recycling old tires into practical, usable products. Our correspondent, Khadija Muhammad, now reports.
At Free Recycles facility in Ibadan, used vehicle tires are given a second life. The factory takes in mountains of rubber waste, once born or dumped illegally, and transforms them into paving bricks, tiles, and even footwear.
A lot of people have been worried by the amount of waste generated and the impact it's having on our ecosystem, the wildlife, as well as human health. Also, the desire for social impact was one of the motivating factors.
Runsaway launched Free Recycle after witnessing fires from burning tires and researching their toxic effects. With no local models to follow, she spent years developing technology, training staff, and raising capital.
There was no other person doing what we were doing, so we've had to train our own staff, which came at a cost. And then you have the technology. All our technologies are imported. To fabricate some of the parts in country has been a nightmare. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. When you get it wrong, that's money just down the drain.
Today, the company employs over 160 people and has processed more than 250,000 tires. But challenges persist, from unreliable power to the high cost of specialized equipment.
Power is one of the issues that we are currently faced with. The machine that you see behind me is currently running on a diesel generator, which itself is not clean and is not sustainable. And then you have access to funding. There could be several other people attempting to do what we're doing, but it is capital intensive and requires specialized funding.
Despite the hurdles, Free Recycle is scaling its impact. The company recently launched eco-friendly flip-flops made entirely from recycled rubber, inspired by sandals Runsaway saw Maasai warriors wearing in Kenya.
Ife Dolakwa has demonstrated a lot of very good things. Free Recycle is doing amazing stuff that we feel should be scaled not just across Africa but globally. We're hoping that with the sale of items like this and the online shop, people will see what she is doing. The visibility will be scaled tremendously, and she's going to begin to get contacts.
Runsaway hopes her work will inspire more women to lead green innovations and push Nigeria towards a circular economy.
But every day I wake up is an opportunity to tackle some of these challenges, do things differently, set an example for other women out there who want to go into the sector, be it even the sector or any other sector, to know that anything is possible.
Recycling tires, creating jobs, and reshaping waste management. Free Recycle is proving that sustainability can be both practical and profitable.
As the implementation of the new tax laws draws closer, which was supposed to start in January 2026, a coalition of civil society and labor aligned groups in Abuja has rejected the new tax reform laws set to take effect on January 1st, accusing the government of imposing oppressive measures that would burden working Nigerians. The network of Abuja left groups also claims the legislation was altered after approval by the National Assembly and is calling for mass resistance, including a nationwide strike, unless the laws are suspended and subjected to wider public consultation.
They say that any bank account that does not have money up to 800,000 annually will not be taxed. Let me tell you, even if you are not working, even if you are unemployed, go and check the money that you are keeping, the money that it is more than 800,000 calculated. If you made the calculation, so why would they want to weaken the citizens that elected them into power? We want the Senate president to come out here because he is a representative of the people. Yes. He is a representative of Nigerian citizens. Yes. He is not a representative of Tinubu. Yes. He is not the representative of Tinubu family. Yes. So we want him to come out. We are not living here until when we see the Senate president. We have a written message for him. We will deliver this message. This law will not go. This tax reform bill is null and void. This tax reform bill does not follow constitutional procedure. Yes. So we are not accepting it as ADC first, as Nigerian citizens.
And considering the current security situation in Nigeria, Nigeria's national security advisors linked the country's worsening insecurity to recent coup attempt in neighboring countries and porous borders that enable criminal and insurgent movements. Authorities warn that without stronger border control and enhanced regional cooperation, security challenges could intensify.
And when you look at terrorism, it's not just the withdrawal of states from the Niger withdrew. We're looking at the whole Sahel with the issue in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and with the porous borders we have. It is a hard task for the security forces. We have these countries facing these threats, and we think we'll see peace. Even if Nigeria, you must have noticed that towards the end of 2023, the security situation was improving. But immediately after the coups in these countries, that's when the situation began to get worse. Because these terrorist groups have connection across the Sahel.
We'll take a short break now. When we return, S24 News continues. And still to come, Gbagi Heritage shines at colorful cultural festival in Abuja. And UNN appoints Adichie, others as visiting professors. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Moving on, Gbagi culture took center stage in Abuja as sons and daughters of the ethnic group from across the country gathered to celebrate their rich heritage. The colorful event featured the Miss Gbagi Nigeria 2025 grand finale alongside the annual Gbagi Festival and cultural display highlighting tradition, empowerment, music and identity. Our correspondent Zainab Ibrahim reports on this beautiful story.
At the Nicol Luxury Hotel in Abuja, Gbagi people from across Nigeria gathered for two major cultural events, the Miss Gbagi Nigeria 2025 Grand Finale and the annual Gbagi Festival and Cultural Display. The event celebrated beauty, education, empowerment, faith, music, and the rich traditions of the Gbagi people.
I'm here to infuse myself with my culture, to identify with my people, and to be very honest, I'm so glad that Gbagi is really coming out and trying to make a niche for ourselves. And interesting that we're not picking based off of face, but because the people they are picking these days and the queens and competitors, they've really shown so much. And they're putting the Baggy tribe in the globe, which is one thing that I'm super excited about.
The Baggy people are spread across 5 states to 6 because we have Baggy in Kwara State. So this is in a way to harness potentials and talent of the Baggy girl child, you know, to build them up, to give them a sense of belonging, and to build also confidence in them, especially for those who are just coming up.
We should come to know about Baggy people because we are loving, caring, and we are wonderful people that you want to come and stay with, you want to live with, you want to just have everything to do with Baggy people.
Halabi is your welcome. Abowolona, how are you doing? Are you from Bar? We are at the occasion, please.
The event also attracted traditional rulers, elders, politicians, and celebrities, all showing support for Baggy culture. Zainab Ibrahim, S24 Television.
And that's a beautiful display of culture there. We wish to see more of this to make sure that younger persons understand what culture really is across every ethnic group in Nigeria. And moving on, the University of Nigeria in Nsukka has appointed globally acclaimed author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie alongside distinguished academics from Africa and beyond as visiting professors. The move is aimed at boosting the institution's global profile and deepening academic engagement through teaching, research, and mentorship. Meanwhile, millions of Nigerians remain unaware that they are legally entitled to free emergency health care despite daily reports of lives lost due to delayed treatment or denied access. In this explainer, we examine the law designed to protect patients, how it is funded, and why it continues to fall short. Over to you, Zainab Ibrahim.
For 10 years, Nigerians have been denied a life-saving right they already have under federal law, a right powerful enough to prevent thousands of deaths. Yet, almost no one knows it exists. Hospitals ignore it. Government agencies pretend it's not there, and citizens pay with their lives. That law is the National Health Act 2014, signed by President Goodluck Jonathan. It was designed to guarantee every Nigerian access to essential and emergency healthcare, regardless of their income. But because it's not enforced and not widely known, it has become one of Nigeria's biggest silent failures. Under Section 20, 27, and 29, the Act makes it illegal for any hospital in Nigeria to reject an emergency patient for any reason. Not because of money, not because of lack of police reports, not because the doctor is not around. Whether you walk into a private hospital, a PHC, a mission clinic, or a teaching hospital, they are legally required to stabilize you first before asking for payment. This covers accident victims, stroke or asthma cases, and gunshot victims. It's not charity, it's a legal obligation. The same law entitles every Nigerian to a basic minimum package of health services, free immunization, free antenatal care, free childbirth services, free family planning, free care for children under 5, and free emergency stabilization nationwide. These are not government promises, they are rights. To fund all this, the Act created the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, a dedicated pot of money that must receive at least 1% of Nigeria's national revenue every year. This money is supposed to go to PHCs, drugs and supplies, emergency care system, and health insurance for the poor. Yet, PHCs remain empty. Patients are still charged for basic services, and emergency cases continue to be rejected. So where is the money going? If the right exists, if the funding exists, why are Nigerians still dying in front of hospital gates? Why do private hospitals behave like the law doesn't apply to them? Why do government hospitals demand fees before treatment? Why does the Ministry of Health ignore the very system it's supposed to enforce? Nigeria citizens do not know they can demand these services. So hospitals and demand accountability will keep burying people who should still be alive.
And this is a call to all Nigerians to know their rights and also act upon the Galadima.
Thank you and welcome to Business News. The federal government has officially commenced the implementation of the $500 million Human Capital Opportunities for Prosperity and Equity Program, a strategic partnership with the World Bank designed to overhaul the governance of Nigeria's education and health sectors. And in Lagos, command of the Nigerian Customs Service has officially exceeded the 2025 fiscal revenue targets, generating a total of 1.576 trillion naira as of late December. The command surpassed its initial annual benchmark of 1.524 trillion naira by approximately 51.84 billion naira, marking a significant milestone in Nigeria's non-oil revenue collection efforts. And over to Forex, the Central Bank of Nigeria reported a 12% increase in net foreign exchange inflows, reaching $41.73 billion for the first 8 months of 2025. This boost was largely driven by a 21.3% rise in total inflows into the economy. While in oil and gas, Nigeria has emerged as a top African crude exporter to the U.S. in 2025. Meanwhile, NNPC Limited has reaffirmed its commitment to Ogoni land, announcing the final stages of employment for 30 Ogoni indigenes as part of a new beginning for the region. And in Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodinma empowers 10,000 artisans with vocational skills and startup kits as Christmas gift to foster economy. That's all we have on Business News tonight. I am Hadiza Galadima.
And thank you, Hadiza Galadima, for the business updates. Moving on to the international news. 2 police officers have been killed in an overnight explosion in Moscow while attempting to stop a suspicious individual, according to authorities. The blast occurred near the site where a Russian general was killed earlier this week, raising concerns over increased security threats in the city